Snowday Sharpe, do 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 do. Snowday Sharpe, do 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 do. Snowday Sharpe, do 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 do. Greeting. Well, hello. And yes, winter has arrived in sunny Norfolk. Uh, a rather chilly one the last few days, and it looks set to continue with more of the white stuff coming down. So, yay! How do you? How you doing, Sammy boy? I'm gonna guess you haven't got any of the white stuff on the ground. That's the snow. Snoo, snur, all the various different British pronunciations of it. Yes, snow and freezing conditions. So, yay! It hasn't melted. And there's like more due tonight. I'd rather rain. So it's winter. We should expect it. It always comes as a surprise because we don't get that much in. Certainly not lately. The last few years have been very warm. Although thankfully I am at the southern tip of how far the snow got to. So yeah, there's not much. It's just bloody cold out. And it's fairly cold inside as well. It's been cold for a few days now. And it's gone up a degree since I've been up here in the last 20 minutes in the cave, so that's a bonus. It's now 11.4 Celsius in here. Hence, I have long sleevey on. And trousers. So yeah, been an interesting week. So I've been on earlies at work all week, which is that means you can do more in the evening because you finish work earlier. No, it means I just sit in the armchair and go. Ugh. Or in Wednesday's case, when it was really early for me, not to work anyway. Got home, had something to eat, had a nap, and what do you know? It was the time I normally get home at. That's the way of things, isn't it? The 2 weeks around Christmas and Pooh years, and always strange weeks for days and times, and everything goes a bit weird to the point where you kind of forget what day it is half the time. Well, thankfully I didn't turn up to work for a day when I wasn't in, so there's always that bonus. But back to normal next week. So yeah, what we've been up to, I say, mostly just hunkering down and keeping warm. Finished off the naughty diamond painting that I couldn't show last week. I definitely can't show this week. Finished off the book nook. Yeah, I've been up here surprisingly little this week, but the weather's had a lot to do with that. You get all comfy and snug and warm and you just don't want to move. But here we are, back at the bench. What's the worst thing that could happen? Frostbite. Did America? Yes, yes, yes. I saw about the war crime of invading Venezuela for no good reason. Yeah, I don't think he's quite got it into his head that oil is on the way out as a resource. That the rest of the world is using less and less oil because we understand that A, it's bad for the environment, and B, it's a finite resource that will run out at some point. Obviously, he doesn't believe in renewable energy because him and his oil tycoon buddies won't make money off of that. So he can't be having that. But yeah, the memes have been flying. There was a good one of Caracas Air Base. Just picture the airbase after the attack and say, you know when you've been tangoed. Taking inspiration from an old British advert for the drink. Yeah, Hague needs to get involved. Nuremberg trials part deux. Yeah, it's. I mean, if it weren't so damn scary, it would just be laughable. The fact that not only is he there and doing what he's doing, but there's a good amount of people that back him and think he's doing the right things. That goes to show what happens when you keep cutting back the education budget. Which, let's be honest, is why they keep cutting back the education budget. If people are smart, they might not do what you want. They might start realising they're not as free as they've been made out to be. You don't need to look at his eyes to know he's lost his mind. He lost that decades ago. He's never had sympathy or empathy or shred of human decency. Even back in his reality TV days, which were, let's be honest, purely to get the money back that he lost from all the various businesses that went bust. Only he could start a casino that went bust. A license to print money, and he still screwed it up. Spent the whole night sundowning. Yeah, basically. So this is basically the time for that whole Fifth Amendment thing about the militia to rise against the tyrannical government. You know, that whole thing people have been fighting so long for, from my cold dead hands and all that rubbish. Yeah, this is why you did it. This is what you got it for. It's this is the whole reason it's in the Constitution. It's almost like the founding fathers figured this would probably happen at some point. So they putting a way out for the people. How very socialist of them. Oh dear, yeah, it's just. And Europe has obviously banded together over it and the NATO thing, so say goodbye to all those lucrative defence contracts, Donald. I mean, obviously not to mention the fact that he's completely killed the tourist industry. I'm not saying that President Maduro, whatever his name is, title is, of Venezuela, is a nice guy. But you know, there are ways and means of fixing these problems, not just bombing and then kidnapping. It's I think the only reason that like the Hague and NATO and haven't done anything yet is because he's crazy enough to push that big red button. And start World War III. Which in itself is a good enough reason to get Donny Bone Spurs out. Well, can't we get in Michael Jackson's Doctor? Yeah, fair, yeah. I understand it. The other way to go in there nation build when you can't figure our own out. Exactly. I mean, if he thinks that, you know, taking out Venezuela, as it were, will stop the drug trafficking, hate to tell you this, they'll just go somewhere else. And they'll keep just going somewhere else. The way you win the war on drugs isn't by stopping the drugs. It's by educating the people and by running your country in such a way that people don't feel the need to be on drugs. I mean, yeah, you're still going to get the addicts. It happens. People get addicted to anything. But the war on terror. Did that stop terrorists? No. This is the problem with these things: is they aren't a nation, they aren't a country. There may be a figurehead, but at the centre of it all, it's just an idea. an ideology, and you can't destroy that with a few bombs. It's just not going to happen. I mean, it'll keep the arms industry in profits. Don't worry about that. But won't actually fix the problem. And what will help is talking to, being reasonable, understanding, listening. Working out exactly where they're coming from, what it is they've got a problem with, and what you can do to either get the problem to go away or lessen it. Then rather than create underground enemies, you create friends. Oh, some ridiculous spray sunscreen is horrible. I'm sure it was. But all the military that took part in this are court-martialed. I mean, it's how far down the chain do you go, though? Because the grunts, as it were, the boots on the ground, haven't really got any choice in the matter. And you don't know what kind of BS they've been fed. And for all we know, then they may have been going through the services and finding out who is pro-Trump and who is anti-Trump, and just using the pro-Trump people to do the stuff because they know that the anti-Trump people won't do it. Yeah. The more he keeps doing things like this, though, the more chance there is that he will actually be assassinated, not some fake attempt to curry favour or whatever. It's just why. It's the why I don't understand, is it? Okay, there's a problem with drugs coming into the US. How do you solve that? You catch them at the border. You identify how they're coming in. Use intelligence in both meanings of the term. And you stop them. And while you're doing that, as I said, you concentrate more money into understanding why so many people are taking drugs, and you figure out what you can do to reduce that number. And the answer is not throw them all in jail indefinitely, which is what's been done in the past. We've all seen the ones where someone's been done for possession of enough marijuana to just about get themselves a little bit stoned, and they've ended up with a longer prison sentence than someone who's murdered someone. But no, that's not how you fix the problem. And the fact that this is all coming down from someone who's taken so many intravenous medications that they've had to start using his left hand for the IV or cannula, and that means one thing: the vein that they were using in the right hand has collapsed. I mean, I'm no medical professional, but you know that seems pretty obvious to me. Even if they do try and spin it as, oh no, the bruise is just because he shakes so many people's hands. Shaking people's hands does not cause bruises. Shaking people's throats does, but yeah, I don't know what to tell you, Sammy boy. It's just, I say, on the outside looking in, just looking at it going, how is this allowed to happen? Where are the checks and balances? The people saying, no, sir, that's illegal. You can't do that. No, it doesn't matter what you think, it's illegal. Oh, yeah, because anyone who disagrees or doesn't say yes, he fires. That'll be it. Made a comment about the guards at Auschwitz. Yeah, well, it's no wonder he's so worried about the terrorist organization Antifa. You know, he's a fascist. The problem is, Antifa isn't an organization. It's not. It should basically be everybody. Everybody who is not a fascist is Antifa. It's that simple. So I'm no diplomat or anything like that. I'm just a normal everyday dude with a bit of savvy and a bit of common sense. Yeah, Your enemy is the people who are against fascism. You don't really need to say any more than that, do you? I've got a problem with the people who don't like fascism. Okay. Tell me you're a fascist without telling me you're a fascist. It's basically what that is, isn't it? I don't like people who think differently to what I think. Because what I think is to right, and nobody else can be right, and I can't be wrong. Because if I was wrong, then that would mean I'd have to admit to being a failure. And I can't do that because I'm an alpha male. Except you're not. You're just a whiny little crybaby who wants their own way. And will completely ignore the law to get it. Yeah. Venezuela knows. Don't worry, Sam. The rest of the world does know and understand that El Trumpenführer and the maggots and the Gestapo, ICE, don't speak for the American people as a whole. I mean, the one good thing that this regime has done is it brought all the people who do think like that out of the woodwork because they think it's okay and they can get away with doing and saying these things now because Trump Daddy will protect them and save them from the nasty liberal people. Oh, the liberals, you mean the right wing? No, the leftists, the liberal left. No, what you call liberals are right wing. Your conservatives are far right. Well, I mean, this is it. If they're gonna retaliate, which I wouldn't think they're dumb enough to, is I get that it's the we have to retaliate or we're showing weakness, but that's what he wants. He wants them to retaliate so he can then go in full force. If they remain diplomatic, de-escalate, he's got nothing other than some war crimes to answer for. He needs for the Venezuelans to think like he does. Like, I've been attacked. I need to attack back harder. Oh, hang on. I know what'll solve it all. Oof, pardon me. That'd solve it. Oh, Jesus, there's some heat in that. I mean, the thing is, the way he's going, the way things are going, they will just start being people will just start enforcing sanctions. Well, no, we're not selling to you. No, we're not buying from you. And more countries will start doing that, which I mean, it sucks because it will destroy the American economy, and the people who will suffer won't be the higher ups, because he'll say that's all these evil other countries, all the communists. So, mate, there's literally like one communist country left, and even that's basically capitalist now. Communism is over. It's not the enemy anymore. Cold War is done. Other countries have figured out their differences and got on and played nice. We go, okay, so this is how you do it, this is how we do it, this is where we're different. Yeah, this is it. He's just surrounded by yes men. And Mar-a-Lago faced yes women. Probably why Marjorie Taylor Greene's gone against him. Yeah, exactly. It's if they did if you could go back in a time machine and speak to one person, who would it be? We all know who Donald would choose. It wouldn't be someone like Gandhi or Lincoln or Jefferson or hell, even Reagan. It's yeah. I was watching a video this morning about World War II, unsurprisingly. It was about when the GIs, or America, first got involved in the war, and the GIs obviously were coming over here because, you know, unsinkable aircraft carrier that Great Britain is. So yeah, and the main concern wasn't how we're going to house all these people, how we're going to feed them, blah blah blah. The main concern was the segregation, because we never segregated black from white. It was never a thing. I mean, not in modern history. We may well have done way back when slavery was still a thing in the UK, which is several hundred years ago. It publishes a book called My Struggle. Yeah, and it'll be ghostwritten by someone else. Much like The Art of the Grift was. Yes, we're all fully aware you didn't write that book, Donald. You just sort of said a few things and scribbled a few things down in crayon, and there's someone with intellect and talent actually wrote the book. made sense of the deranged ramblings. Like the Trump National Library when it happens. Like, I understand that you have a national library from each president. His will just be full of children's books, crayons, and copies of Mein Kampf. And it will be made out of gold-coloured plastic. Be the tackiest thing you can imagine. Be like the wedding of rednecks who just won the lottery. That's how tacky it would be. I mean, no, it wouldn't be as good as from Hobby Lobby. It'll be made in China. It'll be from Hobby Lobby. Yes, I'm aware how racist that probably was. Yeah, I'm entirely familiar with Hobby Lobby and their vouchers and coupons and yeah. Hobby Lobby and Michaels are the two I mainly know about for modelling and crafting. There's another one. What was the other one? No, can't remember what the other one was. I'm never invited to the Riyadh Comedy Festival next year. Oh, I wouldn't want to go to the Riyadh Comedy Festival. It's way too hot and sunny over there for me. And B, I really don't think I'd fit in very well. And I just had a really dodgy thought of a I'd fit in about as well as Epstein did with some of the young girls. Is what I was thinking. I realise I probably should make sure this T-shirt isn't too obvious what's on the front of it. It was just a case of this is the first long sleeve t-shirt I pulled out of the cupboard. Yeah. Hopefully Congress or the Senate can do something and stop what is happening. Hopefully there's enough people in there with enough smarts who aren't so scared of losing their job because they've said no to Donald. Above all of it, though, the fact that there are still people who believe what he says. Yeah. Let's say that should have just not, that should have been a non-issue. It should have just been release the files. Yeah, okay. And then they get released. Yeah, this is the problem when the president and his party have a majority. It's really not a lot the rest can do about it. No, if there are 100 votes, let's say, and there are 60 people belonging to one party and 40 belonging to another, nothing's going through unless 11 people decide to basically defect against what their dear leader tells them to say. So hopefully with the midterms coming up next year, or this year now, isn't it? Well, it might be a bit late. That might be why he's accelerating things so that he can get stuff done before the midterms, before he loses control. Yeah. What happened then, though, was there were enough Democrats who were, shall I say, probably Democrats because they couldn't become a Republican for whatever reason. But yeah. Basically, he wanted to make drastic, swooping changes to improve things. And yeah, they didn't want big, drastic, swooping changes because it's still all rich white men, basically, who have had a monopoly for centuries, and they don't want to lose that monopoly, because the moment they do, they're never going to get it back again. But as we all know, we can guarantee whatever results are voted for by the American public, if Donald doesn't win, it will have been a rigged election. There'll be election fraud. And he'll quiet, and he'll quiet, and he'll quiet, and he'll quiet until people give him what he wants rather than what he deserves. Yeah, Monroe Doctrine, which was designed in the way back days so that the Royal Navy didn't have to keep going all the way across the Atlantic just to sort out petty little squabbles between tiny little countries. That's what that was about. When crossing the Atlantic started taking less than several weeks to do, that basically became null and void. It's like, what can we dig up out of history that works for us? Well, the thing is, you should learn from history and its mistakes, not pick and choose and repeat. You can't go telling that to a maggot, can you? I'm sure some of the things he might have thought about doing and might have done might have been good. Right. But all the bad stuff is just totally overwhelming anything he might have done that was positive. He basically just needs someone who's a right-hand man, as it were, who will just clout him round the back of the head anytime he does anything stupid or lies. I know that's not going to happen, though. So I think I mean, I hate to break it to you, but that was just invented to keep him happy. There wasn't any mention of it beforehand. There's not been any mention of it since. I'm pretty safe to say that there's not going to be any more of them. But you know what will really upset him? That'll be if Venezuela does hold elections and the opposition leader gets in, because she's the one who won the Nobel Peace Prize last year. Oh, that'll really rile him up. Well, then there's also the fact that those of us more used to football, proper football, not American rugby, we all know that FIFA is so corrupt it's unreal. Has been for decades. Yeah. Yeah, it's just an excuse for a whole bunch of bros to have a cuddle in public. That's what it is. It is literally the most stop-start sport I've ever seen. It makes lawn bowls look action-packed. It seems like as soon as it starts, it stops again. You know, what? Why? Why can't you just carry on playing the game? But yeah, to non-NFL fans, we can sit and watch. I mean, I do have a vague understanding of the sport and what's going on. I kind of know the rules and how it's played, but it's like, why? 2026 boys don't need a reason. Yeah, exactly. And it's pretty obvious how bad Americans are at the sport it originated from, rugby. The fact that they lose by over 100 points to someone like Scotland. Yeah, there is a lot more to cricket. But the main thing I don't understand, other than why do you have to stop every 2 seconds, about American football, why do you need so many players? Why do you basically need two entire teams plus? So any other game or sport like rugby, which is what American rules football comes from, There's 15 players on the side, and or 13 depending on which type, I think. And you'll have like 2 or 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 substitutes throughout the entire course of the match, the 80-minute match. In total, the rest are all playing the entire 80 minutes. Well, they'll get tired. Well, in that case, they're not fit enough. It's more fun in the locker room, yeah. Also, why are American crowds so lame? Why are the chants just so asinine and boring? Oh, some belt buckle. Yeah, it just makes no sense to me. So I just ignore it. And there's only one game a year anyway, isn't there? The Super Bowl. Yeah. It does seem to be a thing, American sports. Take something that's popular in other parts of the world and then just change it needlessly. Make it worse. I don't even watch the Super Bowl for the commercials. I don't care. Yeah, exactly. Oh, did you see that the halftime show? Halftime show? That's when you go get your meat pie, or you go to the toilet, get your drink, or and hurry back to your seat because you got 10, 15 minutes to do it. And then the second half kicks off, and away you go. The whole quarters thing, that is definitely purely there for advertisements. In like netball and the like, netball and hockey. It's all purely there to make money, let's be honest. Yeah, well, bless him. Snoop's not exactly a young pup anymore, is he? Does mean he's safe from Diddy and Kanye, though. I mean, I would have just said, you know, as a general rule of thumb, anyone who decides to call themselves Puff Daddy or P Diddy or whatever the hell, random, yeah, maybe you should keep an eye on them and just put them on the register, because no one normal is doing that kind of thing. Yeah. But I never understood any of this. So and so's got beef with so and so, and I just, if you don't get on, just don't hang out with each other. It's pretty simple. If you got different viewpoints, just avoid each other. It's quite easy. Yeah. Well, at least now we know what the P stood for in P Diddler. Um, we got other people turning up now. Come on, other peoples. Say hello. I don't bite often, and it's only with permission. I think that's all that. Yep. Let's see if we can steer the conversation back to a slightly less risque format. Oh, pardon me. Definitely getting windy in here. Yep, that's already frozen outside again. Yay. So yeah, I did actually get around to uploading a video yesterday. shock horror. I know it's been a while. Um, the whole Christmas and stuffs and getting things sorted and actually coming up with an idea for something I could film. Um, and if anyone's wondering what this picture is that I'm doing, the diamond painting, it's basically a Grim Reaper stood by a stream holding a sword. I'm going to roll myself back so I can stretch my legs out a bit. Hopefully my knees don't crack. Ooh. So yeah, looking forward to getting things back to normal next week. Normal days, normal hours, normal things happening, nothing weird and random. I've got a bunch more diamond paintings. Sounds like your tramp stamp. Think I'll get that one. It's just having a good stretch. Yeah, so working Saturday, so yeah. At least I'm off tomorrow though. So I can do some more water changes. Yay! Yeah. Water changes, dabbing, food shopping. Anything else? That's about it, I think, for tomorrow. Plenty enough. Other than that, just chill out. So yeah, as I was saying, I've got a bunch more diamond paintings on the way. So what I might do is do another unboxing, film another unboxing video, because that's the other video I filmed the other day. Of the ones I could anyway, because naughty ones I can't exactly show on YouTube. It's a bit of an issue. As I was saying that, I'm looking to do more sort of cryptidy, paranormally, supernaturally type ones this year. Get some at least. It does get to a point where you're like, which which scantily clad lady should I do next? And then they start getting a bit repetitive. Might order myself another Book Nook and another Gundam off of Amazon at some point. Might actually do that this evening. just break things up and have a couple of other things to do and film. And hopefully it won't be too much longer till spring hits and I can start getting back out in the garden and doing gardening stuff again. Finished pulling all the stuff out that I should have pulled out last autumn but didn't get around to. Then see what survived the winter, what needs replacing, or where I've got gaps and what other things I can put in plant wise. And then hopefully, that shouldn't be too hard work, and hopefully get around and do the front as well. Then at some point that will all be done. What else can we do? What else is there? I've still not tried out the ultrasonic cleaner that Mary got me, so I'll have to give that a go at some point. Fill that, strip down the airbrush and stick that in there. Give that a thorough degunking. I'm pretty sure the reason it keeps gunking up is because there's muck in there that I just can't get out the normal way. And also the needle seals have gone, so they need to be replaced. More expense. But, so I won't exactly need to be buying any diamond paintings for a while. I have many. We're up to about 70 now. And with what's coming, that will probably bring me up to 70, 80 possibly. So with what's already on the way, that might bring me up to sort of 90 odd, ready to go. So, whoops. So yeah, it might be an idea to just work at getting the numbers down a bit there. And the thing is, they're all basically this size or bigger, so going to take a while to clear. We did go. I did get a frame today for putting the large Cthulhu one I did in. So that might be something I'll do tomorrow. It seems to be a non-standard sort of frame size. So the frame I've got is bigger than it needs to be. And so I'm going to have to paint a good proportion of the front of the back of the frame, if you get what I mean. Paint a good chunk of that black so that there's not just a whole bunch of bare wood showing around the canvas. Yeah, I might see if we can get that done tomorrow. Get that hung up somewhere, and then that'll be clear. So yeah, that's plenty to be getting on with, I guess. Obviously, at some point I will be doing the other book nook that Mary got me, which was the video yesterday. That won't take long. Might actually do that on Friday, because I would think I can easily do that in a day. It's not what I'd call the most complex of things to do. But it will look good once it's done, and that's the main thing. So the real problem this week has just been the weird timings of my shifts at work and the weather and just that general feeling you get this time of year. Where you're just like, oh, yeah, I just want to sit down and do nothing. I'm sure I'll get it all sorted out. Ow. Oof. So yeah. I might cut things a bit short today because I do need to go get something to eat. I don't know if you can hear my stomach rumbling, but I certainly can. That'll give me a good chance to have a look on Spamazon. See if I can find myself a Gundam and a book nook. Maybe if I order it this evening, it might turn up tomorrow, which would be good. Not that there's anything that's going to get damaged by getting cold, but it's always better to not play hunt the parcel under the snow. See you later, Sammy boy. Have a good one. Try not to rant and rave too much. What else is there that's going on? Yeah, so if I actually get my butt in gear tomorrow, I might be able to get this one done. I know it still looks like there's quite a lot to go, but not far off the point where I'll flip it sideways. Which means that the rows that I do, as it were, get shorter, so they get done quicker, and basically I find to get to that point where it's basically halfway through and then everything just accelerates. Before I know it, I'm going, if I just have one more dab session now, then I might be able to finish it later, or what have you. So obviously I've already got frame ready for this one. Actually got frames ready for this one, and one more to go up on the wall downstairs, and one more mag frame to go on the wall up here. So that will mean this one and one more safe for work one, or artistic one. One more naughty one. Then I'll be running out of frames again. Go on, peeps. There's two of you there, lurking in the distance, in the background. Say hello. Or you just spying on me to check I don't do anything too outrageous. Check I'm not starting any beefs. Although I'm pretty sure anyone who knows me would know I wouldn't be trying to start any subtle or quiet beefs. I would just go to the person I had a problem with and tell them directly. It's how I am. Called being part of Gen X and being an adult. What's next? P. I'll have a P, please, Bob. Might just get these ones done and then call it a day. Get back downstairs and warm up a bit. I know I'm one who doesn't mind the cold. But still, I'd rather be warm. If you've heard a strange clicking and clunking noise in the background, that is my little oil-filled radiator turning itself on and off. It's done a good job. I can't complain. some hot food and my blanket is calling me. What else can we waffle about for a bit? Yes, it covered most of it earlier. Obviously, the general stuff's going on with American politics at the moment, and that stuff. I still might try to figure out how to do like not necessarily reaction videos as such, but more the that or the reading sort of subreddits and giving things my opinion. If I can figure out how without having to buy a whole bunch of extra software and stuffs. Whether it basically just involves me pointing the camera at the screen and myself at the same time would make life interesting to try and read. No. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Let's do the random oddments. A few odd purpley bits. Yeah, what else is there? Not really a huge amount. Nothing spectacularly interesting happened at work, other than it being pretty dead and being overstaffed. Because that's just the way it is this last couple of weeks. The shop being shut certain days. Everyone still has to get all their hours in, which means you end up with far too many people in. But I managed to keep myself busy, so didn't drag for me too much. The people who aren't necessarily very good or willing to find themselves things to do, it has been dragging. But I suppose if I'm doing all the stuff that could need doing, then there's not a lot left they could do. But anyway, just get these few done, and I will call it for today, I think. Yeah, that'll do. Go get something to eat. What have I got? Yeah, be some kind of noodles or spaghetti type thing. So Thanks to everyone that's been here, turned up. I would say had a chat, but I think there's literally only Sam who's put anything in the chat today. Stay safe. Have a good one. Peace out. Rock on. If you're in the UK, stay warm. Bye bye bye. Ooh.